Welcome to the Wolfpack Howls, the official podcast of Soudal Quick-Step and AG Insurance Soudal Pro Cycling teams. My name's Phil and I'm your host for today's show. We're recording this show ahead of one of my personal favourite weeks of the cycling season, the 7 days that cover the two iconic races in cycling, the two monuments of all monuments, the Ronde van Vlaanderen and Paris-Roubaix. Today's guest is no stranger to either of those races, having been a regular at them in the 11 seasons that he's now been with Soudal Quick-Step. He's a man that perhaps personifies what it means to be a member of the Wolfpack, with his Flemish roots, always showing he's willing to win as both as an individual and working tirelessly for his teammates. So welcome to the Wolfpack Howls, Yves Lampaert. How are you, Yves?
Thank you. I'm fine. Thank you.
Good. So we're recording this on the Tuesday ahead of the Ronde, so it's Dwars tomorrow, and then the couple of days to prepare for the Ronde. What are these weeks like? Because you have the two big iconic races, but then there's Dwars and there's Scheldeprijs as well. What's it like having a race every 3 days?
Yeah, it's always the tension grows between Dwars of Vlaanderen towards Tour of Flanders. You feel that the media is getting more hype, the people also, the supporters. So it's really a big day in Flanders. It's almost our second national holiday, I think you can say a bit. So that's important. It is in Belgium, and then afterwards, mostly you recover some days after Tour of Flanders because one of the hardest races in the year, and we do a recon of Roubaix towards the race of Roubaix, and we rest as much as possible.
I have this question written down for later, but seems as you've just brought it up now. What does Flanders mean to a Flemish person, the Tour of Flanders?
It's a very important day. It's
bigger than the Champions League final, or?
I guess yes for Belgium, yes, because we never play a Champions League final probably with the Belgian team. So this is our final, and it's really a big deal in Belgium. A lot of people are coming to watch the race, or they come together as a family, and they make the kind of family day at home for it. Super nice.
Yeah, it's kind of the country stops, doesn't it? Everything grinds to a halt, and
yeah. It's really it's really nice. I hope after my career I can enjoy it as much as I'm riding it myself.
Did you used to go watch it when you were growing up, and was it something you'd be out on the streets and?
Yes, because in the past there was always now it's Antwerp, Brugge, the start place.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was young, was almost always Brugge, the start place, and a lot of times it came through my neighborhood in Ingelmust or Izegem, and we went with the car because it was then at that time was not live covered from the start, so we had to watch it on the road. And then we went out to watch, and then we came back, and probably then the live broadcast started.
Yeah. I could tell you a couple of years ago when I did live in Antwerp, and I wasn't there at the race, and it literally went past the front door. I thought, why am I stood in Basque watching this? So we'll come on to the two races in a moment, but a little bit about your history. We've just been discussing before we started recording. 10 years with Soudal Quick, 11 years, 10 seasons. That's quite an achievement. You must be very proud.
Yes, absolutely. It's not a lot of riders given to stay in the same team for over 10 years. And I never expected it when I started as a young kid to even become professional, and then to go to one of the biggest teams in the world and stay already for my 11th season here is phenomenal. I think I don't know how many riders did more than 10 years in the team, but for sure will not be so much.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and it still feels like that icon that it was when you were growing up?
Well, yes, of course. We still have always the big names in our team. Yeah, for now it's Yves Lampaert and before it was Roubaix, Cavendish, Bonen, Tony Martin, Kwiatkowski, I had so many different teammates with a huge palmarès. It's an honor to be been their teammates for at least a season.
Picked out a few of what I think might be your favourite moments, but I would be interested to hear off the top of your head what you think they might be, and do they match the list?
Yeah, I'm curious.
Yeah, so I've got obviously you're a national champion in 2018. To wear that jersey must be fairly special, and I think was it 2 TT champs you won?
Yeah, 2 TT.
Yeah. So to wear the tricolour must be pretty special for you. Yeah. This is the Tour de France prologue.
Yes,
in Denmark. Yeah. We'll come back to these individually. And then I picked what was my favourite of your moments, which was the day in Edinburgh at the Tour of Britain. Yeah, that stage win. So if I made you choose one favourite day, could you do it?
For sure, Copenhagen was the biggest. That's no doubt. Worldwide was the biggest victory I took. But emotionally, I think the Belgian Championship in Banch, but also the Time Trial Championship in my hometown was really special. But what also gets forgotten quite easy is the World Championships team time trial we won.
Of course, yes.
As in Qatar and in Innsbruck were such nice memories. It's such a pity that the discipline doesn't exist anymore. But that was the intense celebration you do as a team is something different than win alone.
Yeah, there's not as many TTTs around anymore either, is there? As in any races, you just don't really see them anymore.
Now in Paris there is still one, but they want to bring it back to the Tour de France here next year or the year after. It's still a discipline that belongs into cycling. I think it's maybe a bit because of the French teams are not super good in it. That it starts to be a bit pushed to the background.
We can't say that, can we? Yes.
That's not a lie that I say. That's It's a discipline that should be always one day in a Grand Tour, and if they want to have time gaps not so big, they have to shorten the time trial. But it's the only day that the whole team is super nervous.
Yeah, you can feel the tension, can't you, before when you're warming up, and
even if you are a good time trial, you're so nervous for it because you don't want to be the first guy to do off. And it's a really nice discipline.
To take you back to that day in Copenhagen, did that almost change your life? Was that when you thought I've become a bit more known to people? It transcends cycling, doesn't it? It's people outside of the sport even start to notice a bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. It was, I was lucky. It was the Friday evening, first day to the France, first day of the vacation for people. A lot of people probably did not know what to do, and they watched the Tour de France, and they saw an unknown guy winning from the big favorites, and it was a day that it did change a bit my life. That's true.
The famous line came out, "The farmer's son."
Yeah.
When did you think of that? Was that a spur of the moment, or was it something you thought about before?
No, it was actually the moment I sat in the hot seat, and I was thinking back in the days when I worked at the farm of my parents together with my brother, always in summer. It was summer vacation, so we had to work planting leek or pulling zucchinis or something. Me and my brother could run away from our father, run away from the field, go inside and watch the race. For me, it was more because I was lazy. My brother was more the cycling enthusiast. and I was there because I didn't want to work too much. Yeah, and we only had that moment the Tour de France on television. There were no Digibox or streaming channels, so we had to watch it. And now, okay, I was also a bit cycling enthusiast. I was not that I was looking. That I don't look at television, but then so many years later, I was thinking, fuck, now I'm one of those guys. Yeah. Hopefully, young guys watched it and have a kind of not admiring, but a kind of inspiring feeling with it. And yes, it was from where that it starts, the cycling enthusiasm to where I was. It was really special that moment.
Yeah. We caused our own controversy. Well, I caused you controversy at that moment as well, with the hug that was caught, and then we gave each other a hug at that moment. There was a bit of controversy, wasn't there? Because I tested positive for COVID 2 hours later, and I think I described it as the most famous hug in Belgian sport.
It's possible. It was really special at that moment. It was still. It was actually the first time Corona was a bit away also before the tour, and then our team got, especially the staff, almost everybody got Corona, and no rider got Corona. It was such a special tour.
Yeah, it was. How we did it, I'm still not sure to this day.
It's strange. Yeah. It's strange.
Yeah. So coming back to the week where we are, the two big races, the Ronde and Roubaix. What's the main differences? Obviously, there's the differences in the parcours, but which is hardest?
Tour of Flanders is for sure the hardest because of all the altitude meters. It's in Roubaix you need more experience and you have to know the race a bit better to know which points it can happen, and it's not always the favorite who wins the race in Roubaix. Yeah. But in that way, Tour of Flanders is more honest. Even I think when Pogacar won, the breakaway was still 3 minutes in front or something a decade ago. I don't know exactly anymore, but seemed unbridgeable, and he was so much stronger that he won anyway. If that happened in Paris-Roubaix, the breakaway stays in front.
Right.
It already happened that the breakaway guys stayed in front, but in Tour of Flanders is so much harder that it's just honest.
I think I've heard you describe this before. There's a physically different way to ride Roubaix. It's almost like you have to pedal a little bit differently because it's different pavé, isn't it? It's not. It's just rocks thrown on the ground. And
and the speed is almost so much higher on the cobblestones. Your bike has to dance a bit more under your body. Where in Tour of Flanders, it's all more about powering to uphill, and it's not a lot about technique. It's more about the power you have. Where Roubaix is a bit more technique and try to avoid the potholes and all things like that.
How hard is it to see them come in? You're in a bunch of however many cyclists and you're going at whatever speed, and then suddenly there's a hole under you. Is it just like a clench your buttocks and go for it?
Yeah, you try to see. Yeah, of course you cannot avoid all the potholes, but if you see it in the half second, you still try to pull up your bike a bit that you don't go full in it and don't have a puncture. But yeah, it's really difficult. That's for sure.
Yeah. Tell me if you don't want to answer this. We'll dip it out. But that moment in Roubaix, you were set for probably a podium place that day. Do you still think about that?
Yeah, sometimes I do.
Has it affected your relationship with the race? Do you think of it differently now, or is it something you still love?
No, I still love the race, Roubaix, for sure. But it just was a pity for my career that I didn't have the podium there. Otherwise, normally we would stay in front for the podium, and I had for sure second or third. And I would have twice podium in Roubaix. Now I got 10th place that day still. But it was an accident, and I only hope it happens as less as possible still in the future. But you never know, of course.
Someone there, is it?
Yeah.
Was there someone there?
No, it's.
No, we can. Yeah. Okay, we'll drop it out. You were remarkably calm that day, though. I think for somebody who loves that race so much, you were kind of okay. It just happened. It's.
Yeah. I was a bit pissed the first moment, but
Yeah.
in the end, yeah, it doesn't help. It's with being too angry. Also, I was more disappointed than angry in the end.
Yeah.
Also, I'm convinced that the man who pulled on my helmet bar, for sure he didn't do it on purpose.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the end, it was a sad accident. If I would have, hey, it's not only my result, also.
Yeah.
You probably get a bonus or something from the team, or also it was also gone. So it's it was a pity day.
Yeah. Okay. And then onto the Ronde, which obviously comes first this weekend. I think it's 10 starts you've had, and your best result was 5th in 2020.
Yeah.
How much of that do you remember?
Quite good. There was the Tour of Flanders where Julien rode in the motorbike and where he broke his wrist. I got the really good day that day.
We're right thinking that was October time?
Yeah.
Because it was delayed. Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
So I'm still remembering the race quite well. Me and Casper were also really good on time bar. We escaped, but the team said us to not ride after Junior. And in the end, we saw him laying down on the tarmac. It was was sad to see him there, and we lost a bit of good result for the team, of course, that day.
How much of obviously a strong team helps, but in those kind of races where it ends up in a bit of carnage, where it's almost every man for himself, but how much of a difference does a team make?
A good teams and classics makes a huge difference because the moment they start to attack and you have a teammate in front and he can what is entering the room. So a strong team in the classic is super important because there are races where there are a lot of attacks, and if you have a team who can answer the attacks one by one, it's not always the same guy who has to go. You save so much energy that you need in this final, and that's why a strong team is really important in the classics.
Yeah. And you were there, I think, 3 times when the team has won with Gilbert, Terpstra, and when Casper was there.
Yeah.
They must have been special days.
Absolutely, it was super special days. The euphoric moment you have after winning a classic is so nice. And most of all the day with Casper, I remember the small party afterwards was so nice that I will never forget it. Also with Terpstra and Gilbert was actually some, but
everybody seems to remember that day with Casper. There was something like a bit of fairy dust on that day or something. I think it was.
Yeah, it was a bit unexpected also, I think.
Yeah. Of all the famous bergs and climbs that you go over, do you have a favourite?
The Old Quarmon is the nicest one, I think.
Yeah.
It's the longest one, and I don't gonna tell it's the hardest one. In the end, it is, but you have more speed. It's not like Koppenberg where you are really going slow and almost just balancing to not fall off your bike. The Quaremont you make speed, and the really good riders right away. But that's why I think it's the most spectacular hill in Flanders.
And they say you can smell the beer on the breath of the fans on the hill, and the noise is pretty amazing, isn't it?
The noise is absolutely amazing. It's it's going to a wall of sound. You don't hear anything. It's only it's nice. It's nice.
I kind of think I went to watch in 2013 and 14. You must have raced in those two.
In 14 I raced, but I didn't make it to the Quaremont because I was involved in a crash.
Right. Okay.
The second time Quaremont. So
yeah. Okay, and then finally, how do you see Sunday going? What are your predictions? Or
of course, what we saw the last weekend, E3 and Gent-Wevelgem, is that Van der Poel and Pedersen are going super strong. Mm-hmm. Then Pogačar will also join, and for sure Van Aert will also be super good. And for our team is a bit searching to survive the first splits and to ride final. Then I think we will have to have done a good job, I think.
Last question. I offer you a podium on Sunday or a brand new John Deere tractor.
Oh, podium on Sunday. yeah. The John Deere I will buy myself because for sure you don't know all the options.
Good answer. Thank you for coming on the podcast, Yves.
You're welcome.